Alice Stokes Paul was born on January 1st, 1885 in Mount Laurel Township, New Jersey. Alice had 3 siblings, Perry, William, and Helen. She was the oldest child out of the 4. Alice's mother was Tacy Perry Paul. Tacy was a part of the National American Women's Party. Alice first learned about the party through her mother. Alice would sometimes go to women's suffrage meetings with Tacy, so she got exposed to it from a young age. Alice's father was William Mickle Paul Sr. He was a banker. Paul graduated from 2 colleges. She went to Swarthmore College first. She graduated in 1905 with a bachelor's degree in biology. She then attended the University of Pennsylvania, graduating with a master's degree in sociology. After graduating, Paul visited London to do settlement work. While in London, she met Lucy Burns, a member of the National Women's Suffrage Association. She got arrested 3 times in London for joining the act. Back in the US, Paul led tons of marches and protests. She inspired many women to take matters into their own hands and start protests around the world. Women were making signs saying things along the lines of "Vote against Republicans," or "Asking for freedom is not a crime," things along the lines of that. Women were even protesting for Alice Paul to get out of jail. Paul's impact made big newspapers such as the New York Times, with headlines like "Pressure for Suffrage." Sadly, Alice was still locked up in jail for her protests. Suffragists wore purple to show loyalty and dignity. There's no doubt that the police were not fans of the protesters. They were arresting suffragists from left to right. Alice started a hunger strike, and many other women joined in. It became a very popular thing amongst other suffragists in prison. It got to the point where they had to force feed the women that were on strike. They put tubes up their noses and down into their throats. They put liquids like eggs into the tubes. The tubes were uncomfortable and made them have nosebleeds constantly. Some women were sent to the men's jail, where they were brutally assaulted and tortured. Some states were pro-women's rights and some were not. States mostly in the South were anti-women's rights. Alice, among other suffragists, were waiting for the 19th Amendment to be signed and for women to have freedom. In 1918, President Woodrow Wilson changes his position to support women's suffrage. On May 1, 1919, House of Representatives passed the amendment making women eligible to vote. The Equal Rights Amendment states, "Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." The suffragists made a ratification banner to show their victory with colors of yellow, white, and purple. Alice and the suffragists had been through a lot. If it weren't for them, women would not be able to vote today. Alice was an amazing woman and definitely an underrated suffragist. As Alice Paul reached old age, she started to become ill. She died of congestive heart failure on July 9, 1977 at 92.